Hey there. In this video, we are going to see the SOQL injection topic. What is meant by SOQL injection? When you look at SOQL injection, it is a type of attack by injecting malicious SOQL statements, and effect of that, the attacker will get more records out of your org. So normally these kinds of attacks generally will happen with VF pages or web portals, right? The problem with the web portal or VF pages is most of the times we will be using the database.query method, right? So to retrieve data from the org, you can use a static SOQL or you can use a dynamic SOQL with the help of database.query. Static SOQL in the sense you will be using the square brackets, and inside that you will be writing your SOQL and you will be binding the values also, right? So that's the way the SOQL static SOQL will work. The SOQL static SOQL by default, it will be having the SOQL injection avoiding mechanism called escape single quotes. So to avoid this SOQL injection, especially when you are using database.query methods, you need to sanitize the input supplied by the user. For example, you are trying to get account name as a parameter to your dynamic SOQL. That is, you are going to use database.query. So for the database.query method, you are getting an account name. This is called user input, right? So before using it directly in your query, you need to sanitize the supplied input. You have to sanitize the supplied input. How to sanitize the supplied input? So input sanitization can be done in two ways. One is either using string class method called escape single quotes, or the Spring 23 release update database.query with binds. These two methods will help you to avoid SOQL injection by sanitizing the output, by clearing the escape single quotes in the input parameters. So we are going to see this particular use case and how to overcome this with the help of a piece of code. So let's quickly jump to the Salesforce org. So this is my Salesforce org and an empty Apex class with a simple method. The agenda for this get records is it needs to pull account record. Okay, so account record whose name matches with the user parameter. So the intention is user will be passing a name as a parameter here to this method. This method is responsible for querying the records and sending it back. Now the implementation we are going to do with database.query method, and then we will be discussing the the reason for injection attack, SOQL injection attack, and how to overcome that. First, we will write the basic database.query method to retrieve all the account records whose name matches with the user passed parameter, right? So normally how we will start that, let me declare a variable called string variable, string query. String query is equal to, I need to get ID field, name field, and annual revenue field from account object. Whether I wanted to get all the records? No. So that's why I'm going to use an wire class here. I'm going to use a wire class. It's a simple variable, and I'm going to use the wire part. I'm going to store the wire part in this variable. Later, I will be binding it. What is the wire condition? The wire condition says that wire name is equal to user passed parameter. What is the user passed parameter? It is in the variable called user param, right? Since name is a text data type, this user parameter should be within single quotes, right? For example, the user parameter should be, let me write in the screen. It will be looks like this, right? User param. For example, if the user is going to pass ABC, he wanted to find the company called ABC, then he will be passing it within single quotes, right? Because ABC is a text type. It should be within single quotes, right? So if you want to write a single quotes inside another single quotes, then you need to have the escape character. You will be using the syntax like this, right? See the syntax? The syntax says that open single quotes, closing single quotes, inside the two single quotes, I want another single quotes. You cannot put it like this because these single quotes will be considered as the closing single quotes of the first one. So that's why normally while writing dynamic SOQL like this, we will be using the escape character, right? We will be using escape character, then single quotes. It tells the compiler, don't consider these single quotes as a closing single quotes, right? So this might have been clearly explained. In the database.query topic itself, it's clearly explained. Okay, now I'm going to achieve the, the query part, right? With the help of escape single quotes. How you'll be doing the escape character, escape single quotes, how you'll be doing it, slash, and then one single quotes, right? You need to add one single quotes. So now this will act as an escape. This escape character is there. So this will act as a single quotes for the name field, right? Similarly, at the end also you need an additional single quotes. This additional single quotes should be an escape. It should have a escape character in front. All right. Let me save this. So where name is equal to single quotes and then user passed parameter, right? User passed parameter will be replaced in the middle. So as an outcome of this particular, SOQL construction, what you will get? You will get like this, where name is equal to single quotes ABC, right? We should have the single quotes in the query itself. That's why we are using escape character here. Now, this is the problem for, the SOQL injection. We'll explain you how the SOQL, injection can be executed through a malicious SOQL. Okay. So this is the basic way we used to implement the database.query method. Okay. Our query needs to be connected with the wire class. So query is equal to, I'm going to concatenate both the variables. Now the query will be completed. Select part in the query and then wire class part. Both the parts are, combined. All right. Wire class. What is the spelling? Let's copy and paste this here. Wire class. Okay. Wire class. Query and then wire class. Query and wire class will combine the query. Okay. Let's try to debug it for our demonstration purpose. Let's debug that query also. So this will help you how the, to understand how the query is being constructed. You will get the output in the screen, right? Okay, the query is ready. What is the next step? What's the next step? We will be executing the query, right? Using the database method. So database.query, and then we will be executing the query. Query is already there, right? Okay. This will execute. This database.query method will execute the SOQL and it will give you the result, right? What is the result? Result will be the list of account because we are querying the account object account. So the result is going to be list of account. So I'm going to mention it as list of account. Let's keep it as LST account. LST account is equal to list of account. Now what will happen? The query will get executed and the result will be stored here. Again, spelling mistake. Let's fix this. Okay, fine. So it's better to print, right? So probably that will give some clarity. What are the records we have retrieved? So I'm going to loop through the list for that purpose, LST account. So before you are coming to this particular video, I hope you will be having good amount of idea with the SOQL and dynamic SOQL, right? So then this video will be very helpful. So I'm going to mention account and let's keep it as a record and do a loop here. Okay, let me save this. So this for loop will loop through all the collection of records, whatever we have in the list, and we need to print it. I'm going to do a debug statement, system.debug, to differentiate each and every record in the anonymous window. I'm going to have some, special characters. Okay, fine. What I'm trying to print, we are querying account name, right? So let me print the name. So record.name. And then we need to print the annual salary also. Copy paste and let me paste this with annual revenue. Okay, fine. So we are printing the account and name. It's time to test. This is the basic database.query SOQL, right? That's the way we will be implementing normally, right? Okay, let's go. I'm going to test this. So I need to test this using VF page control. This is a static method. So class name dot method name, right? Let me go here, remove the old executions in the anonymous window. Now I need to execute this. Okay. Let me try to change my cursor. I wanted to resize, but the cursor type is stopping me. Okay, fine. So let me try to execute this. How we can execute this method? VF page control is the class name. And what is the method? Get records is the method. So get records is the method. And then you need to pass the parameter. I wanted to find a department. Sorry, I wanted to find an account with the name called ABC. So I'm going to pass ABC as a parameter here. Now what will happen? ABC will be passed as a parameter. It will be stored here, and this will be, replaced in the query, right? Let's execute this and check whether this, parameter gives any records or not. Let me try to execute this, and okay, go for debug only, and you are able to see there is only one record with the name called ABC, right? You could be able to see in the list view, there is only one record with the name called ABC. Exact matching, only one record. That's what we have given here. Okay, we went for exact matching. Unfortunately, closed the developer console. So let me open it again, and let's open the code one more time. Okay, let's close the old one and file open. What is the class name? And the class name is VF page controller. That's the reason each and every line should be saved, right? Then you will be in a good position. Let me try to open the class. Okay. So what we have tried is, actually it is existing. Okay, fine. So this is a simple database.query. We were able to get the exact record. Now it's time to simulate the SOQL injection. Now the user is trying to inject some malicious SOQL. How to inject a malicious SOQL? Let me explain you in a little bit better way. Suppose, let me do like this. What we are doing here is we are going to pass a department name here, right? How we pass the department name? We pass the department name as a parameter of ABC. Now, if I'm a malicious attacker, then I'm trying to exploit this piece of code. Okay, how I can exploit this piece of code? In the department, account name, I'm going to keep an empty. I'm going to keep it as an empty. And then I'm going to try like this. Annual revenue greater than 0. Okay, I'm giving like this. Annual revenue greater than 0. Or rating is equal to blank. Okay. You might be wondering, okay, is this a malicious script? Yes, it's a malicious script. Why it is a malicious script? Will explain you. Suppose if a user is going to pass this particular string as a parameter to here, what will happen? Where code will be like this. Where name is equal to what you are passing? Empty space. Empty space, and then R will be injected here. R annual revenue greater than 0, and then a rating is equal to blank. You might be wondering why you need to pass a rating here, right? Because this SOQL consists of a single quote and then at the end a single quote. So if I'm going to pass an empty string, right? If I'm going to pass only an empty string, imagine how it will be. It will be like this, right? This won't pull me any records. So what I'm trying to do here is, as an attacker, I'm trying to inject like this. Name is equal to, there is already a single quotes here, right? Already a single quotes here. I will be trying to cut down here, okay? By keeping a single quotes in my SOQL. I will be putting a cut down here. How I can inject this? Using an escape character, I can inject this. Now what will happen? Now my SOQL won't consider this, right? My SOQL won't consider as a closing single quotes, so it will keep on moving like this. Name is equal to blank. And then I'm going to use annual revenue greater than 0 because I want to somehow get all the account records whose annual revenue is greater than 0 means then high chances are there I will be getting all the high valid account records, right? All the high valid account records I can get it by injecting my SOQL. right? That's the agenda behind the attacker. So he can easily get the crucial account records who are having high revenue information, right? He can get it. So this is my criteria I'm going to inject here. And why you are using rating then? Why you are using rating then, in the sense already there is a single quotes here, right? It needs to be closed. So that's the reason we are going to give a rating is equal to empty. Okay. So we are using one single quotes with escape and another single quotes with the escape. And at the end, what you will get is annual revenue greater than zero. All those records you will be getting as an output. Let's try this. Okay. Let's try this SOQL injection. If you want to get more clarity, you can write the SOQL in a piece of paper and you can check how this will, inject the malicious script, how the malicious script can bypass the, single quotes. That you can try by writing it in a piece of paper. And I'm going to use the get records. Okay. I'm going to use the get records and we need to pass the parameters. Now in the parameter, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pass this injection SOQL. What is the injection SOQL? This is my injection SOQL. My injection SOQL should have a single quotes, escape quotes here, right? It should be having an escape quotes here. And in the end also, I should be having an escape quote here, right? I'm going to put an escape quote here. Let me copy this and paste it here. Okay. And I'm going to copy this. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to paste it here. Okay. And I'm going to paste it here. I need to remove one single quotes from here. So one should be here and one should be here. And at the end also one should be here. One should be there, right? Okay. Close the, statement with the semicolon. Let me resize it a little bit. Okay, so now this is what I know I'm trying to inject. I'm trying to cut down the name part with an empty string. This will close the empty string. And then this is an OR. So any one of the conditions satisfied, the records will be retrieved, right? And I'm going to cut down the last part of the single quotes also with the escape character, right? Let's execute this. And let's see what we are getting in the output. I'm doing an SOQL injection now. By doing this SOQL injection, if you look at the output, I'm able to see the complete list of account records whose revenue is more than zero. Suppose the intention of this particular Apex code is not like this. The intention of the Apex code is to give only the exact account record, which is passed as a parameter. But an intelligent attacker, what he did was he tried a phishing here. He tried an attack. How tried an attack? He tried the attack with a malicious SOQL inside this as a parameter. As an outcome, now this database.query method giving the hacker the complete list of account records. This should not be the case, right? Security is not there in your piece of code. Now you need to cover this. What is the best method? As we discussed in the presentation, the first method is you can use escape single quotes, right? There is a method in the string class. So you can use this. Where I can use this? Where I can use this is, this is my user parameter, right? This user parameter should have escape single quotes in it. Whatever the user is going to pass, let's say if the user is going to pass as slash single quotes here, then I wanted to remove this escape, right? I wanted to, sanitize that. How I'm going to sanitize this? User parameter is equal to, I'm going to use the string class. String dot escape single quotes. String dot escape single quotes. This is the method. String dot escape single quotes. And then I'm going to use user param and then the semicolon. That's it. So I have applied sanitized. So sanitized the parameter, right? Sanitize the user input parameter. Now let's execute. Now again, the code was changed a bit. Now the attacker is trying to inject the, malicious script again, malicious SOQL again. Now he's trying to execute. Okay, let's see what the outcome of, sanitizing. Now see, the user is not able to see any of the account records because he's trying to pass name is equal to empty. Name is equal to empty, so none of the records will be given to him, because this injection was now removed with the help of string dot escape single quotes. So all the escape single quotes will be sanitized. Okay, if user is trying to inject, it will be sanitized. This is one way. And another way, what we saw in the presentation is with the help of database.query binds, right? With the help of database.query with binds. This is a Spring 23 release update. Now we are going to see how to use this particular method to avoid this SOQL injection. Static SOQL, no issue with that. That by default comes up with escape single quotes mechanism. What is in by static single quotes? You will be used to write using a square brackets, right? That is called static SOQL. Static SOQL by default have the sanitizing mechanism in it. But if it is a dynamic SOQL, this is the problem. So now we are going to try database.with query binds. Let me go to my arg again and let me clear the annotation. And what I'm trying to do here is now I'm going to comment escape single quotes. I'm going to comment this method. This sanitization I'm going to comment. Instead of this time I'm going to use database.query with binds method. Instead of database.query method, I'm going to use database.query with binds. First, let's check what is the syntax for that. The syntax for database.query with binds is, let me write the method, database.query with binds. Database.query with binds. What is the first parameter? The first parameter is the query. Okay, what is the query you are going to pass? You need to mention that. And then the field values. Let's say here you have one wire class, right? Wire name. For this name only, we have passed the user parameter. Database.query with binds, you need to pass this wire class field values through a map. You will be using a map. So map means it will be having a key and value. What will be the key? Which field you are trying to use in your SOQL. I'm going to use name field in the wire, right? So probably the name field will be the key, right? What will be the value? The value can be the user passed parameter. That's the way you will be constructing. So as far as map is concerned, key can be anything, but it's a good practice to keep it as a field name. Okay, field name, and value can be the user parameter, right? The user passed parameter. In this way, you can construct a map, and the map can be shared with this. And after that, you can also include the access level. What is in by access level? Access level, that is the next parameter. Access level means you wanted to do in user mode, or you wanted to do it in a system mode. What will be the impact? If you are going to use a system mode, then securities will be bypassed. If you are going to use a system mode, security bypassed. User mode means all the security features will be applicable. Field level securities will be, object level security will be applicable. That you have to mention here. To mention the access level, there is a separate enumeration called access level, right? Access level dot, I'm going to use user mode in the sense, then you need to keep user mode here. This is the enumeration. I'm going to use it. User mode enumeration value. I will be using it. So this is the syntax for database.query with binds. Now we are going to use this. What is the first step? You need to construct the map. Query is already there. First, you need to construct the map. Okay. So let's construct the map. I'm going to create a map. Map of what will be the key. Key will be the field name. Field name will be always a string. Value will be the field value. So it can be any data type. It can be a text. It can be a number, right? Suppose if you're going to search for annual revenue, then it will be a decimal value, right? It will be a double value. Suppose if you're going to search a account name, then it will be a text field. So the map value can be any type. So that's the reason I'm going to use it as an object type. I'm going to use it as an object type, map of string, object. Perfect. Let's give you a map name called account bind map. Let me give you a name like this, account bind map. And it is going to be new, again, map. I'm going to simply copy this and paste it here. Probably it will be easy to complete, right? You need to initialize. So I have initialized the map. Okay. Next, what should be part of this map? This map should contain key value pair. What all are the fields you are using in the wire class? As of now, I'm using only one field called name, right? So you can apply the name field as a key here, right? Or you can use any string, but it's better to use the same process, right? Let's say you're going to search for a field, then give the field name as a key here. So I'm going to use account bind map. This is the map.put. What is my key? My key can be anything. I'm going to give name, right? But you guys should not be getting confused. Already in the SOQL, I'm having a map, and in the key also, I'm going to have a name. So these two things should be the same. It's always a good practice to keep in name, but it doesn't mean that it should be always name. It can be anything. So what I'm trying to do here is simply I'm going to give you a different name here for demonstration purpose. It can be any name, right? But it's good to keep the field name, account name. And then what is the map value? Map value going to be the user passed parameter. User is passing a value here. This is the value I need to search, right? And I'm going to keep it as a value here. Perfect. So now the map is ready. Okay. Account bind map.put. The map is ready. Now we need to use the map in the database.query with binds, right? Before that, we need to do one more adjustment here. What we are going to do here is, here you have used the concatenation operator, right? This is the major problem for this SOQL injection. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to remove this concatenation process. I'm going to remove everything. And instead of this, I'm going to use the map name here. In the map, what is the key? Account name is the key. I need to replace this particular value in the SOQL. So first you need to identify your map key, which is relevant to your name field. So my map key name is called account name, right? So I'm going to use account name here. At runtime, what will happen? At runtime, this key's equivalent value passed by the user will be replaced here. To make it simple, that's what going to happen. We have removed the concatenations. Instead, we are now using the binding, syntax here. But from where we are binding the values, we are binding the values from the account map. This map can have n number of values. Let's say, for example, if this particular syntax is wire name is equal to past value and annual revenue greater than 0. If that is the case, now the wire class contains two, filters. Then you can add one more key, account bind map.put annual revenue, the user passed parameter. You can use it, right? So similarly, you can add n number of, key value pairs into the map and you can use it. So then a wire class is also, it's done. Now we need to use the database.query with binds method, right? So I'm going to copy this syntax and this should be replaced our database.query method. I'm going to replace this. So instead of database.query, now we are using database.query with binds. So query already it is there, right? It will take the query from here. What is the map? Map name is account bind map. Let me copy this and paste it here, account bind map. And access level, I'm going to do it with the user mode. Okay. So that's why I'm going to keep it as user mode. Now things are done. So instead of database.query, now we have removed that with database.query with binds. What are the changes we did? We have included the map key in the query, and then we constructed a map, right? And we have mentioned the access level also. Let's save this. It is already saved. Now let's try to execute. First, let's try to execute with a, normal data. The purpose is we need to get the account whose name matches with the parameter, right? So what I'm trying to do here is let's command this. And first, let me test with the actual data. Okay. Get account records. And I'm going to mention ABC here. And let's close this and execute highlighted. I'm going for execute highlighted. It is executed. Let's wait for the output. And the expectation is I should get only ABC, right? I'm getting only ABC account information, working fine. Now let's try to inject. Now I'm going to inject it. Okay, what I'm going to inject? I'm going to inject escape single quotes, annual revenue, rating against single quotes. Okay, this time the hacker, attempt will be, neutralized with the help of query with binds. Let me try to execute. Now, if you're trying to inject also, the injection will not work. Okay, the Apex will block the injection. Now the user is getting 0 records. None of the records are returned to the user. Okay, with the help of database.query with binds, now we were able to neutralize the things. So the SOQL injection is about injecting malicious SOQL into the database.query. This can be overcome with the help of string.escape single quotes or with the help of database.query with binds, or you need to replace that with a static SOQL. This is the way you can avoid SOQL injection in your code.
If you are interested to learn Salesforce, visit AJ Skill Development website. There you can find our course curriculum and you can come to know about the list of courses we are offering. We are offering Salesforce Administrator and Salesforce Development courses. To know about us and the team, you can visit our About Us section. This is an organization we are doing Salesforce training from 2018, and we have trained and guided 2000 plus candidates so far. And if you also want to know about our placement assistance, visit our placement assistance section where you can find the list of people and the category. You can see the list of people who got trained and placed from our side. You can also visit their LinkedIn pages to get to know about our training and also the feedback from the relevant trainees. Okay. And also, if you want to do the course inquiry, click on contact us. You will see the form. You can fill the form and submit the inquiry. Our team will get back to us. Thank you.